What is going on, guys? DBG here. And in today's video, we are going to be talking, well, we're going to be doing another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. And this tier list is going to be the best Galaxy Opal players in the game. So, lads, before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 265,000 subs by the end of NBA 2K21. We are right now about just over 6,000 off. We are just over 6,000 off, so it's going to be very, very close. And as well as that, if you guys are not yet, go subscribe to the DBG Shorts channel. Basically, something that I want to try out. I don't really want to put shorts on this channel, but the DBG Shorts channel is right here. A link will be in the description. We've already uploaded 2 onto the channel, although it only says one of them is a short for some reason. Either way, it doesn't really matter. We are going to be uploading probably 1 to 2 of these every single day. A lot of it is going to just be stuff that is coming directly from my TikTok. So it's a lot easier kind of to make that type of content on YouTube with a separate shorts channel. So a link to that will be in the description. But anyway, let's get on to it. So we've got right here, we've got Alex English. I'm put Alex English right in the middle in C tier. I like Alex English. I don't mind base 55. I don't mind mellow base. Honestly, it doesn't matter what gen. I'm not like that opposed to that release. I green quite easily with it on both gens. He's decent height for a 2-guard, decent wingspan. He's significantly better than Carmelo Anthony. And overall, he's a card that I just think is very, very nice. And a very underrated card for me anyway. I think he's a very, very, very good in comparison to the way people rate him. But I think he is still mid. Amare, mid. Like, Amare is good. Like, again, his jumper is a lot better than people give him credit for. Like, his jumper is really nice in my opinion. His movement is good. He can side to side, can curry. Decent player build as well. And all around, good card. Again, he's got blinders, or slash steady, so I wouldn't really use him on current gen. But I mean, on next gen, Amare Stoudemire is still easily one of the top. He's probably the top big man that came out in the Spotlight Sims, to be honest. Again, not this god tier player, but pretty decent. So, yeah, C tier. AK, B. Andre Kurlanko, again, a really good shooter. He does have steady on current gen, which isn't great, but he's an elite cone and just an elite overall card in this game. Not going to do much in terms of like dribbling, creating shots, but I mean, if you're looking for a cone, you can't get too much better than this guy if you're just looking for a pure cone. Then we got Bam Adebayo. It was pointed out to me in my last video that I've been joking around so much that people actually believe that I now call Bam Adebayo Bam Adebayo. But don't worry, lads, I am not Kendrick Perkins. It is Bam Adebayo. So Bam's really good in my opinion. On current gen, the other Bam is better. On next gen, this Bam is better. Like, I would take this Bam Adebayo over the Dark Matter Bam on next gen. Definitely on current gen, most definitely not. He's not as good as the other Bam, but on next gen he is. So we are going to get on to the next one. He's got a good shot, can curry, a little bit of size. Bill Laimbeer, E, because I'm chicken with him on next gen. Like, yeah, he steps in from the corner, which is why he's so low, because he actually does everything else pretty well. But like, for some, like, most people are going to have him in worthless tier. And I need to change the name of this here to worthless / rewind rewards. What the hell happened there? There we go. Worthless / rewind rewards. Billy Owens, D. Hot zones are really not great for Billy Owens, honestly. And the hot zones are not what you'd want, but he's got a good release. Gold range, decent. You know what, C tier. C tier, that'll be worse players. Bobby Jones, B tier. Bobby Jones might actually be higher, you know what? He might be higher. And same with AK. Wherever Bobby Jones' AK is, because they're very, very similar cards. But I do rate Ink quite highly. I do rate Bobby Jones quite highly because, again, he's really, really good on defense. It's great defensive animations, and his shooting is good. Like, he's a good shooter. Again, not like this game-changing level shooter, but he's a good shooter. So, for me, he's in... Yeah, I'll give him B tier. He might go higher. Both those might go higher. Buddy Hield. See, Buddy Hield is just a little bit too small. That's the only problem with Buddy. He's basically like mini Kobe. He's like mini Kobe. He's so fun to use. There are certain challenges where he's so effective. He's just tiny for a 2-guard. I can't really justify putting a 6'4" player who's a 2-guard any higher than this. But at the same time, he's a guy that I do like. Like, I am definitely a big fan of him. So, next we are on to Carver Cheney. Bang average. He is very, very average. An overall, like, decent card. Decent release. You know, actually, you know what? He's got a good release. Only gold range. I mean, he's not as good as these guys. I think this might be better. Yeah, I reckon this probably looks better. Because Carver Cheney's definitely better than the guys I have lower or I have in his tier. But he's also not as good as AK or Bobby Jones. So, yeah, that's it for me. I think that's probably the most fair tier for Cheney. Because, again, he's a pretty good card, to be honest. It's just, again, no half range is a bit of a problem. Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert's okay. I think Caris LeVert's C tier is probably the right spot for him. He's meh. He's fine. He came out recently enough. I've only used him for XP challenges. And just even messing around with him, he's okay. Like, there are a lot of better cards. There are a lot of worse cards, by the way, than him. Like, there are an awful lot of guys that are worse than him. But for a modern card, he's not spectacular. He can't play point guard, though, which is decent. But, nah, we got to put him in this tier. So, next we have got Chandler Parsons. And Chandler Parsons, I will say this right now. If you are on current gen, he's D tier. If you are on next gen, he's borderline A tier. So I'm going to give Chandler Parsons the benefit of the doubt. I don't know which one I want to put him in. Like, he sucks on current gen. He absolutely sucks on current gen, but he's class on next gen. I don't know whether I want to put him in C or B. I'll go C, but if I'm on next gen, he's like high B, low A. He's so good on next gen. Charles Oakley, I hate Charles Oakley. His release, I don't even mind his release that much. There's just something about the card. I've used him in a few squad builders, and he just didn't do anything. Like, he just genuinely did not do anything at all in game. So, I mean, I gotta put him in this tier. Like, some people would have him higher, but yeah, I think we gotta put him there. Chris Bosh, A. Chris Bosh is fantastic. Like, he is one of the best OPAL centers in this game. No question about it. I know he didn't get much hype because, well, his Dark Matter wasn't that much hype. I really liked his Dark Matter, and this is the same card. Like, I know some people did not like his Dark Matter. I was a big fan of that card. So, even though I know some of you guys may not have been as high, or definitely were not as high on that card as I was, don't get me, like, trust me, like, I loved the Chris Bosh Dark Matter, and this card is basically the same thing. There is essentially no difference between the two Chris Bosh cards. And for that reason, like, I'm going A tier for Chris Bosh. Like, in my Dark Matter tier, I'm pretty sure Bosh was like high C, low B. And I think we gotta go A tier anyway with him. Then we got Boucher. Boucher's B tier. He's not bad at all. I just find it so hard to justify putting season rewind cards in higher tier because of how stupidly expensive they are. Like, Chris Boucher is like was like 60k at one stage, and by 60k at one stage, I mean in the last like 40 in the last 72 hours. He was 60k. He was just a ridiculous price at one stage. So we gotta put him in B tier. Chris Wood S. Baby Bill. He's like a baby Bill Russell. He's definitely not Bill Russell. Don't get me wrong. He is not Bill Russell. But I mean, if you weren't able to get Bill Russell and you were able to get the triple threat, I'm pretty sure he was triple threat offline. I'm pretty sure he was a really, really easy one to get. Like it wasn't even a bad grind at all going for triple threat online for him. So triple threat offline for him. He was really easy. Ray Allen base, decent size. Such a good card. Then we got Cliff. Cliff is S. Cliff is class. C is for Cliff. C is for class. Cliff is easily one of my favorite 2 guards in the game. No question about it. He is one of my top 2 guards in the game. If you don't like Cliff, that's perfectly fine. If you don't like his release is really a big thing with him. If you don't like his release, you're not going to like him. If you do like his release, he's going to be one of your favorite players in the game. So, yeah, he is in here in S tier. Kobe White. I'm going to put Kobe White in B tier. But if you're on current gen, he's not up to much. If you're on next gen, he's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic if you're on next gen. If you're on current gen, I mean, he's mediocre. So, yeah, I'll put him in B tier. But again, he was another one. He actually let me down in the Bull squad builder big time. Crawford carried. Colin Sexton is a 6'1" point guard. He's E tier. But again, there are worse. There are a lot of worse 6'1" point guards. There are a lot of worse 6'1" point guards. Then we've got D'Angelo Russell. D'Lo. I'm gonna put D'Lo in D tier. He's not someone I rate. For me, anyway, I do not rate D'Angelo Russell high at all. I think he's, again, mediocre at best. His release is iffy. There are a lot of problems with this card, so I'm going to put him in D tier. Danilo Gallinari. Gallows B. Gallows B. Good jump shot. I mean, just in general, everything about this card is good. I don't think anyone can really say there's flaws in Gallo. Good shooter, good defense. It's just there are a lot of cards that are just better than him, which is why he's kind of gone under the radar. Ferry F or S. No brainer. Absolute no brainer S tier for Danny Ferry. So now we're going to go to worthless players. So, worthless players. Let me see. Garland. I'm going to put Darius Garland in worthless because he's way worse. Way worse than Colin Sexton. Like, I don't think there's even a debate if he's better than Sexton. Who else is going? Sumner. I mean, I don't mind Sumner. He's one of the better season rewind rewards, but unfortunately, he is garbage. You're garbage. You're a 6'4" power forward with a bad release. You're garbage. You're garbage. Although this is not a season rewind reward card, he is legit worthless. He's the first non-season rewind reward card to be in this tier. Okay, who else do we put? You're garbage. You're not garbage. You know what, Josh Hart? You're gonna go into D. You're gonna get E tier. You're gonna go into E tier. You are not quite. You're not good, but you're not garbage. I don't know. I'm gonna put Monk as a reluctant worthless tier player. Mason Plumlee is absolutely garbage. Yuta Watanabe serves him right for being the fake Yuta. It serves him right for being the fake Yuta. Xavier Tillman. You know what? Xavier Tillman can play defense. He's basically Xavier Tillman. I'm gonna give Xavier Tillman the benefit of the doubt. You're gonna go E tier. You are one of two so far award cards not to be in worthless tier. Kendrick Nunn. I'm sorry, you suck. He does a base 5. I'll give him E tier just because he is base 5. Otto Porter. Otto Porter's 6'8", and he's actually got a pretty good release. So I'm gonna put Otto Porter in E tier. Jordan Poole. I don't know why he's there. Peyton Pritchard, he's awful. Who else are these bad tiers? I mean, is Worthless only season rewind rewards? No, Jay-Sean Tate. There's been one player so far in Worthless here. You Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, yeah, you kind of suck. Hito Turkoglu, you suck as well. Isaiah Ryder, you absolutely suck. You get in the Worthless tier as well. Have I missed any of the season rewind rewards? You're fine. You're fine. Okogie. Don't think I forgot about you. Don't think I forgot about you, Josh Okogie. You are a trash can. You might be one of the worst. You might be in the 3 worst of these guys. I don't think I forgot about you. So David Robinson. I'm putting David Robinson in A tier. I don't personally think D-Rob is that much worse than Bosh. And maybe like I think I'm higher on D-Rob than anyone else. Like when I was doing my tier list early on, like I had D-Rob. For me, D-Rob's better than Kareem. But I know nearly everybody disagrees with that statement. Like I've been a huge fan of D-Rob since I grinded for him. And I don't know why. There's just something about his release. And if anyone even saw me when I played that one wager against the dude on West servers, like D-Rob was literally out there beating chicken against dudes on West. He was barely missing. He's A tier for me. Then we have got Davis Bertans. You know what? Bertans has got a decent release. Base 13's alright. He's got decent height. I know his wingspan isn't great, but still. I'm going to give Davis Bertans the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to put him into D tier. Deandre Ayton. Ayton's B. Ayton's good. He's definitely a little bit underrated because he came out in moments cards. And speaking of moments cards, whatever happened to them? Like, why did we not get any moments cards for when, like... I mean, did we even get a... I think the last one, we got a Reggie Jackson playoff moments card, didn't we? It was like, why didn't we get a moments card when Terrence Mann dropped 40-something? Why did they just stop at moments cards? They were great. Deandre Hunter. I'm going to put a Hunter in B tier, but if you want to put Hunter in A tier, that's fine. I used him once and didn't like his release very much, but Hunter's really good. He is quite similar to a Kawhi. But for me, like, I don't see him as being any different than like a Malik Beasley. Or see, not Malik Beasley, a Mikal Bridges. I don't see him as being any different than a Robert Reed. So for me, he's going B tier. DeJounte's release stinks. D tier. Dylan Brooks just does everything mediocrely. C tier. He's average at everything. He doesn't do anything well. Dino Raja, get into S tier. Dino, when it comes to opals, Dino's fantastic. My hope is that Dino Raja is at the final domination is something like Fantasy Dom, and that Dino Raja is the final domination reward. I think that something like that will make domination worth it. I think everything should be like there should be something about like I think the last season of my team should be about fantasy. And I think that in that like fantasy season of my team, I think we should get like the most just ridiculously juiced cards in history. Like even more juiced than we already have. Like we think the cards we have now are juiced. I hope for the last season that we get the most just stupidly juiced cards. That we get cards that are so juiced that everyone's asking, what the hell have you done, 2K? Like for me, that would be like the most ideal situation for how they would go the next season. An Invincible Dino would be great. Dino's got his long arms. Dirk, at this stage, Dirk's like... No, I'm going to give Dirk... Dirk's like C or B. Honestly, Dirk's still not that bad. Jokic, however, didn't stand the test of time, but Dirk did. Dirk is fantastic. Donald. E. Great for his time, though. Don't get me wrong, Donald had his time in my team, lads. Donald really had his time. He was pretty much good at everything. The problem was that he was a little bit undersized, and like he came out the same day as the 6'7" demigod that was Luka. Luka came out. So a lot of people weren't really using Don Ole. But I mean, Don Ole was my starting point guard for a lot of that season. Don Ole, Don Buse were my 2 point guards. But then we have got Dougie McBuckets. I don't know what I feel about Doug McDermott. Like, I'm not the highest on the card. He's alright. He plays. He's like Gordon Hayward. And for me, Gordon Hayward is just meh. Like, I didn't rate Gordon Hayward that highly. I don't rate Dougie McBuckets that highly. So I'm going to say D tier for McBuckets. And it's a weird one. Like, some of them, like, you can probably say, oh, Doug McDermott's better than Billy Owens. And that might be the case. But when I used Billy Owens, he felt better for me than Dougie McBuckets. Duncan Robinson. I mean, he's just a shooter, isn't he? But he's got decent height, so he's C tier. Eddie Jones, C. He's mediocre. I mean, I think I have Carver Cheney too high. Yeah, Cheney, you go down one. Or you go. Maybe Eddie. Eddie Jones go up one to B. Eric Gordon is not very good. D tier. I've used Eric Gordon so much. I really wanted Gordon to be good. I've tried that Oscar Robertson base. I'm not a fan. Mirasan. I mean, I have to, don't I? Just for cheese factor. For cheese factor alone, it's hard not to put Mirasan in S tier. Like, the guy, you can hold sprint, and the guy just runs by everybody. The guy literally runs by every single player like they're not even there. It's a joke having Mirasan on the floor. I'm putting him in S tier. Giannis, S. Again, still not quite as good in terms of like individual shot creating as the other Giannis, but still. At the end of the day, he defends equally as well as the other Giannis. He shoots equally as well. Actually, he doesn't shoot equally as well. He shoots almost equally as well. And he dunks equally as well. Like, the only difference is really the dribble style. If you're not using Giannis as a primary ball handler, this Giannis is still fine to use. Glenn. Good old Glenn Robinson. So, Glenn, C. I miss the other Glenn. Glenn was one of the greats, that Diamond Glenn, but this Glenn is C tier. Odin, D. I hate Odin. Like, I legitimately hate Greg Oden. Hal Greer, I mean, he's as good as a 6'2" point guard's gonna get. Let me put him in C tier. He's like a better version of, like, if you know, you know. If you know, you know with this card. Like, you might say, oh, how am I putting a 6'2" point guard? If you know, you know. That's all. That's the only way I can describe Hal Greer. If you know, you know. Hassan Whiteside, he sucks, man. D. He really sucks. Which is a pity, because he's actually got a great player build, but he really sucks in game. So then we have got Jamal. I'm putting Jamal in A tier. This is my list. There is nobody that I'm as good with as Jamal Crawford in terms of shooting. He is my favorite scoring point guard in this game. Does he play any defense? No. But that doesn't matter. He is still my favorite scoring point guard in the game. So, yeah, we have got him in anyway into A tier. James Wiseman, S. The best next-gen center of all these guys. Apparently on current gen he's bad, even though I liked him when I used him on current gen. Like, there are plenty of times where I've used him on current gen when I go back and I've liked him. So maybe it's just because I like Curry base on both gens, but still, he's S. Ja Morant. Ja's literally just half blinders. I'm going to put Ja in the same tier as Hal Greer. He's a half blinders version of his Dark Matter. Jaylen Brown. Give me B tier for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's alright. He is a very, very decent card. Again, nothing wrong with the card at all. Plays good defense, plays good offense, just kind of a cone. Jeff Green, B tier. Jeff Green's nice. Again, a supremely underrated card. He's not great creating off the dribble, and everything else he does is fantastic. Like there's one problem with him, and it's that he can't really create off the dribble. Everything else he does at an absolutely elite level. So he's going into that tier. Jermaine O'Neal. I think Jermaine O'Neal's a step below Greg Oden and Hassan Whiteside, so I'm gonna put Jermaine O'Neal in E tier. But he is probably a step above Bill Laimbeer. Jerry West. I like him more than most people do. He's not going into worthless tier. I used him in my squad builder earlier and he was good. I don't know why. I just enjoy using Jerry West in his game. So I'm not going to say he's good, but I'm not going to say he's worthless. Ijian Lian. I mean, he's got to go into S, doesn't he? Like, he does have to go into S. Like, he's in the top 30 or so players in the game. It's tough not putting him in S for the second highest tier. Caldwell. Screw it, give me A for Joe Caldwell. Base 98, good wingspan, good attack in the basket. Is he an A tier overall player? No, he's probably like a C or a D tier overall player. But at the same time, like, he can absolutely cook people unlimited. And he's similar to Jamal Crawford, honestly, in terms of the way that he plays. So, yeah, he's going A tier. Embiid, A. Embiid versus D-Rob is preference. It's honestly preference. I really like this Embiid card. I think a lot of people aren't as high on this Embiid because they just didn't use him. The problem with this Embiid, if I'm not mistaken, this Embiid came out in the batch of cards that were out the same day Spotlight Sims. I'm pretty sure it was like Embiid. Who was it again? Was it Embiid, Invincible Iverson, Taylor Horton Tucker, and Jalen Rose, if I'm not mistaken? And I think that nobody cared about any of those cards because Spotlight Films came out. So everyone kind of forgot about Embiid, but he's really good. And also he was a opal when everyone had Dark Matters. Isaac, I mean, he's just easy on Leon, except he plays small forward, so S, I guess. Jordan Poole, I have never used this guy, but I remember from reading his stats, he's probably like C or D tier. I've never used him, so I don't know what I accidentally put on the list. Josh Smith. I'm putting too many in S. Josh Smith belongs in that tier as well. Yeah, he has to. He has to be. Navarro. D. D, he's not bad. Kareem. D. The big thing about Kareem, though, is that if you are on next gen, the skyhook is still OP. Like, I've used him in a few squad builders, and every time he gets the ball, he still skyhooks. Like, can he shoot the ball? No. Like, you thought the other Kareem couldn't shoot? No, there are levels to it. There are levels to not being able to shoot, and this Kareem is like pre-250 levels of centers not being able to shoot. But at the end of the day, he's still Kareem. Carmelone. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, no, let me put Carmelone as the 13th player in B tier now. Yeah, he is the 13th player in B tier. Kawhi Leonard, A. I'm not as high on Kawhi as most people. I like him. If you want to say he's S tier, that's fine. But for me, I would take Cliff over him. I think Cliff is just offers that little bit more if you can get used to Cliff's release. Kawhi's release is better. And then like Cliff doesn't even have steady. But I know some people hate Waiters base. I think Cliff is that bit better on defense. Kawhi is a tough one. Kawhi is a really tough one. He's top of A. He might go to S. Kevin Durant, top of A, might go to S. I don't like this card on next gen. Apparently, from what I've heard, he's like as good as the other Kevin Durant on current gen. That if you're playing on current gen, like, you might as well use the out of position Kevin Durant instead of the invincible KD. But on next gen, they're not even close to each other. They're not even in the same stratosphere. Like, you've got, what's his name, who is significantly better. You have got the invincible Kevin Durant, who's significantly better than the other KD. Okay, Kevin Porter Jr. I really want to put KPJ in S tier. I'm such a big fan of this card, and he's a next gen god. I really, really want to put KPJ in S tier. I don't quite know if I can though. Which is the problem, is that I don't know if I can really justify putting Kevin Porter Jr. in A tier. Or in S tier. So he is 6'6", but he can play point guard. Is he better than Josh Smith? Not even close. He's not even close to being better than Josh Smith on current gen, but he's better than Josh Smith on next gen. Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I'm going to put KPJ in A tier. But just know I am such a big fan of KPJ. Like, this is my start. Like, he's literally my 2 guard. The two guards I run with are Kevin Porter Jr. and Cliff Robinson. Like, they are both of my shooting guards. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just putting these guys high and I don't actually run them now, they're about my actual 2 guards I run with. Kobe, A. Yeah, I think A tier is right for Kobe. Ishian Lian, he's coming down. He's coming down. I think that Josh Smith and Cliff Robinson are better than those cards, but it's not by that much. I think that they are definitely better guys. They're definitely the 2 best guys to run to 2, so I'm putting them a little bit ahead of E. Kyle Anderson, Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo's not bad. I'm gonna put Slow-Mo in B tier. Kuzma, B. I mean, at this stage in the game, yeah, he's B. Larry's A though. Larry is a point guard cone, especially on next gen, is super, super effective. Like, it all depends on how you run your team. But like, if you're playing with, for example, a 2 guard whose job is to attack the basket, like a lot of people run T-Mac at the 2, or if you're running, say, a Bill Russell or Bol as primary ball handler. And if you're on next gen, honestly, Bol primary ball handler is probably, it doesn't matter what Bol is, whether it's the invincible Bol or it's the other Bol, that's probably the best way to do things. But I'm going to have Larry in A, because Larry beside those 2 guys is so good. Because basically what Larry does is Larry will play defense and hit the shots, and which lets those guys do what they do. Lonzo, B. High B. Lonzo, you could argue, is better on current gen than Kevin Porter Jr. He probably is better on current gen, but it's not even there's not even a comparison on next gen though. Like, KPJ, I think, is comparable. If you're looking both gens, he's comparable to the other Lonzo Ball, the Dark Matter Lonzo. I think the Dark Matter is quite a bit better than the Opal Lonzo as well. So that is what we've got. Then we have got Pink Eyes Luka. I might be gassing at putting Pink Eyes Luka into A tier still. I think he's really good though. Like, I don't think there's much he does wrong on the court. It's just the only problem is his release time quick and not very quick. Manu Ginobili, get into A as well. I mean, if I'm putting Crawford in A, I gotta put Luka in A, realistically. Even though I did play Crawford over Luka, and I did play Manu over Luka. If I've got all those guys in A, Ginobili's just got that weird upward I can't get used to. I know a lot of people, again, are big fans of that Ginobili card. I'm not high on it at all. Like, for me, Crawford and Tyreke Evans are way better than that Manu. Marcus Smart, I mean, 6'4". He's 6'4" and can't play he can't play the 1. Gotta put him in D tier. He's 6'4". I'm sorry, not great on offense. Gotta put him in D tier. Markelle Fultz is like 6'4" athletic Steph Curry, so he's gonna go C tier. Then we have got Maurice Lucas. D tier, can't really play offense, but really good on defense. Michael Cooper, C tier. Solid shooter, solid defender, a little bit undersized. Michael Jordan, D. I mean, no one even used him in 250. Screw it, he's D tier. He was out pre-250 and he wasn't used on a single team. Michael Red. Give me Michael Red. If we're talking next gen, Michael Red's probably B tier. We're talking current gen, Michael Red's probably C tier. If we're talking next gen, he's probably A tier, honestly. I'm going to go B, but he's going to be high B. He's like a slightly worse. He's like Kawhi without the defense. He's like a better offensive Kawhi without the defense. Obi Toppin. I mean, Obi Toppin was a free locker code card and he wasn't even great when he came out. Let me put Obi Toppin into D tier. Man, all that hype for that Obi Toppin. Patrick Ewing, D. He's like Greg Oden level. Albeit, I will say he is D tier, but he is still the very best we have ever seen. Best Ewing we have ever seen in my team. He is the best Ewing there has ever been in my team. Paul Millsap, C. He was great for his time, free card, but I guess time goes on. It's there's just out cards in my class. Paul Pierce, I mean, he sucks. He absolutely sucks. I have a feeling we might get an invincible Paul Pierce, to be honest, but I can't really justify putting Paul Pierce as like anywhere but worthless. This specific card, worthless. It's a pity because there was a stage where Paul Pierce wasn't my favorite player in the game. Then we have got Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway is B. He's like a tier below Luka. He is like a tier below Luka, so let's put him into B tier. PJ Washington. PJ Washington's alright. He's alright. Let me chuck him into C tier. Rafer Alston. I mean, he's 6'2", decent dunker, but I'll go E. No, he's got... Actually, he doesn't even have Trey Burke base. They took Trey Burke base off him. If they didn't take Trey Burke base off him, I'd put him in C tier. I'll put him in the same tier as Juan Carlos Navarro. RJ Barrett. CB, CB, CB. Let me throw him B. Low B, I guess. Rudy. AB, 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 B. Rudy's still very, very good, though. Rui Hachimura, CB, CB, B. Like Rudy Kuzma and Rui are very similar level cards. Although, at the same time, I would definitely take some of these guys over... maybe I would take some of these guys over the guys... No, I wouldn't take any of them over the guys in A. The guys in A are better. They're all B. Marcellinus... Marcellinus is alright. He's going B. He's like a poor man's version of the Invincible Harden. Shaq. At this stage in the game, a center that can't shoot is E tier. No matter what. No matter what, a center that can't shoot is E tier. Steven Jackson. You give Steven Jackson even gold showtime, he's A tier. He's one of the better two guards in the game. He's so nice. He is such a good free card if you put even gold showtime on him on current gen. You don't even need showtime on next gen. But he's class. Francis. I mean, Francis got this. He's got the weighted base, which I like. I'm going to put Francis in... I'll put him in D tier. He's definitely not higher than D, but not unusable. Steve Smith, I mean, 6'7", decent shooter. I'm going to go C tier. I don't like him as much as I like an RJ Barrett, and the fact he's 750 tokens definitely puts him down a notch. He's not terrible, though. Terence Ross, this guy's so underrated. He's B... Like, he's not A tier, by the way. He's B tier. But he's so underrated. If you've used this guy, especially on next gen, his movement, his dunking, his shooting, everything about this card, he's so underrated. Kukoc. I mean, I want to put him in S. I badly want to put him in S, but... I mean, he's not Giannis. He's not Ferry. He's not Dino. I really want to put him in S, though. I really want to put him in S. I'm putting him in S. I don't care. I don't care. He's still better than most of these guys on next gen. Maybe even the best. He may even be the best of these guys on next gen. Like for me, I use Kukoc over Wood. So I'm gonna have to put Kukoc there. Hero's good, man. Hero's good. Hero's going like... I really like that release, so I'm going low A. But if you want to put him lower or higher, I'm fine with that. Tyreke Evans, I mean, it's Tyreke Evans versus Jamal Crawford versus Manu Ginobili. Like, these three guys right here. All preference. So I'm going to put Tyreke Evans into A tier as well. Okay, so now we're on to our last 5 players. Halliburton. Halliburton B, but I like him. I don't think he's anything spectacular. I don't think he's, like, as relevant as the Diamond was for his time. But at the same time, he's not a bad card at all. Victor Oladipo C. He's like a bigger version of the small point guards. That's a weird one. That's a weird way to describe him, but basically all of the like small 6'3" point guards do the same thing. He's like them, just a little bit bigger. Wally Zerbiak. I kind of like Wally. I'm gonna put Wally in C tier, wherever Steve Smith is. But it's mad though. Like we got our first ever 98 overall in like season 5, first ever 98 overall pink diamond in Bob Lanier, and we haven't had a 98 overall in the token market since, as far as I'm aware. Wes Unseld. Give me A for Wes. Give me A for Wes. He's very similar to this Kobe right here, except he can play point guard. Xavier McDaniel, C, Zion, B. Zion, I personally prefer the point guard Zion to this Zion. Yes, he's got Kobe release and very quick, but he's a little bit small to play power forward or small forward, in my opinion. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. This is the tier list. So we have worthless / rewind players, rewind reward cards. We've got E tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, and S tier. Let me know which you agree and disagree with in the comment section. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.